Unless you're aiming for a very specific company for either the start or next move in your career in data analytics, I am pretty sure you would like to have a big ass name in your CV. And if that is also the case, I'm also pretty sure that you might have considered joining either a Big 4 or a FAANG company. And you might ask yourself, so what? Ciao guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lore, and because I had the chance to work for both Big 4 and FAANG companies, and because these are considered by many the dream organizations to work for, in today's video I would like to cover the main differences that I noticed from a data analyst and data scientist perspective. Before we start, a very brief note to make sure that everyone here can follow. Big 4, FAANG, what am I even talking about? So Big 4 is simply an acronym to indicate the best 4 consulting companies, namely Deloitte, EY, PwC and KPMG, whereas FAANG is another acronym, but this time to indicate the best big tech companies out there, and namely Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix and Google. Okay, so now that we got everything that we need, in this video we'll cover these points here to basically show you the main differences and to really understand what company is better for you. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's talk about clients. So who is it that you have to work for? So this comes down to the different business model of a Big 4 compared to a FAANG. So let's say that you're Deloitte. So to make money, you're gonna sign a contract, for example, with McDonald's, and you will say, okay, we're gonna help you this year to basically sell more Big Macs. And so basically as a data analyst or a data scientist, you will work mainly with the client. So in this case, McDonald's. And this means that on a daily basis, apart from your colleagues, so the people that are with you in the project, you're mainly gonna interact with people from McDonald's sales team, for example, or marketing team. So basically people external to Deloitte. And then when that project is over, you will probably switch to a different external company, which actually makes the consulting job quite interesting from this perspective, because you're gonna constantly change clients. On the other hand, if you work for a FAANG company, your main goal is not really to help other external companies to grow and succeed, like it happens with Big 4, but it actually is to make your own company grow and perform better and better. And this means that as a data analyst or a data scientist, your main stakeholder, clients, whatever you want to call it, is probably going to be people working internally in your own company. So this can be, for example, colleagues that you have within Google in the marketing department, or colleagues that are in Google in the sales department, for example. And so as you can see, you have less exposure to external companies, but you're more involved into working, as I said, with internal people in your company. And well, why this can be better? Because actually you can build your own reputation and people will get to know you much more than in a Big 4, where, you know, when you're done with your project, you have to change client and basically, you know, build your connection from scratch. Let's now talk about the tools that you're going to be using as a data analyst or a data scientist. So usually what happens in a consulting company is that you will be technology agnostic, meaning that you don't really have one specific tool that you're using every day, but you basically use the tool that is most in demand, or actually the one that is used by your own client. And this obviously means that you will build a very wide range of skill set, meaning that, for example, if your client use Tableau as a data visualization tool, you will need to master that. Whereas when you're done with that project and you switch to a different client using Power BI, you will also need to be an expert of that tool as well. On the other side, in a FAANG company is completely different, because you're going to use only the tool that your team is using. And so what usually happens is that if you work for a FAANG, your department or your team will choose only one data visualization tool, and you're gonna use that for basically all of your internal projects. So probably as a data analyst or data scientist, you're not gonna see a wide range of tools, but you're gonna basically specialize on only the ones used by your own teams. Let's now talk about the scope of your work and the industry you will be focusing on. So in a Big 4, you will probably join the data analytics or data science or artificial intelligence teams, whatever it is called. And basically you will apply your skills, but in whatever industry your client is within. So that means that you can jump from, for example, the energy industry to the automotive industry to the food company and maybe another tech company as well. So that means that you can become a data analyst or data scientist in whatever industry you might think of. And what usually happens in a Big 4 consulting is that only when you become a bit more senior, then you will be asked to specialize in one or two industries. On the other hand, what happens in a FAANG company is that you will probably specialize in a specific industry from day one, meaning that you can be a data analyst or a data scientist, for example, within the marketing department or within the finance department or even within the sales one. Now let's talk about the career progression. So not many people realize that in a Big 4 consulting company, the more senior you become and the more you will need to focus on the sales aspect of projects. And this means that your progression and also your bonus will depend on how much revenue you can bring into the company. Even if you're in the data analytics team, what you will need to do is to build strong relationship with your client to basically, having more and more projects and bring revenues back to the firm. And this is actually an aspect that I particularly don't like, because that means that you will spend much less time working in your data analytics or data science project, and you will need to spend much more time discussing with the clients to basically get more work for your team. And this is something that usually doesn't apply to FAANG, because what you will do, let's say that you are a data analyst in your marketing department, when you progress, you're basically gonna build more experience and you're gonna manage bigger data analytics projects, and you're really going to become the marketing expert, meaning that the scope of your work will essentially stay the same and you will not have to become a salesperson. Let's now talk about money and let's see the salaries. So as for the pay, Big 4 tends to start a bit lower than a FAANG company, but the thing is that within a Big 4 company, salaries will grow much faster compared to a FAANG. So obviously the names of the roles will change, but let's say that you start as an Analyst 1 and then you will have a salary increase to Analyst 2, and then the jump becomes much more significant when you have the actual promotion. So from Analyst 2 to, for example, Consultant 1. And the progression is kind of standardized, so you will tend to have a good idea on when to expect a promotion. Instead, in a FAANG company, first of all, the progression and promotion scheme is not really defined as much as what happens in Big 4 Consulting. And also what tends to happen is that unless you have a promotion, you will not have these yearly salary increases as it happens in consulting. And well, while I leave a bit of a recap here in the screen of the points that we covered today, I really hope that this video will give you a better idea of different aspects that I actually had to experience myself on the field. And I guess, well, if you are considering to join either a Big 4 Consulting or a FAANG, what you need to do is really to understand the characteristics of either of the two that we discussed today and really understand how those match with your personality. Because, for example, you might be someone that is interested in really having a wide range in terms of skill set, so getting to learn different tools, or on the contrary, you might be someone that is actually looking for specializing in one specific industry and just stick to that. And well, with that said, if you enjoyed watching, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so that we can help even more people in their career decisions within the data space. And well, enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao for now and see you in the next one.